Former political leader of the National Democratic Congress, Nazim Burke, has expressed his disappointment with several aspects of the national address delivered by Prime Minister Dr. Kit Mitchell, which focused heavily on pension payment for public officers. Commending the decision not to appeal the pension ruling, the former finance minister noted, however, the tone and intent led more on the negative.
Once you make that decision that you're not going to appeal, then the country is faced with a particular challenge. And every challenge carries with it, every crisis carries with it opportunities and potential threats.
Elaborating that leadership is about identifying opportunities and minimizing risk, Burke says government is missing out by not taking advantage of the opportunities.
I'm not saying it is easy. I'm saying therein lies the opportunity. And I did not get from the Prime Minister a very inspirational speech, a very energizing speech, a very mobilizing speech in which he was galvanizing the nation. Now that he had decided we are not going to appeal it, we're going to make this happen, he needed to pull everybody and give them the sense we can do this working together.
Meanwhile, another panelist on GBN's Election Watch program on Wednesday, Byron Campbell, welcoming the inclusive approach, believes 3 months for the advisory committee to recommend actionable plans for handling the payment of public sector pension is enough.
And pointed out, most importantly, that whereas its government must manage this process, the responsibility, in other words, who's going to be paying this are the taxpayers. You know, it's you and I, the citizens of the country, that will be responsible. So it is not an easy fix. In my view, therefore, that I thought that 3 months, having something standing there and injustice to the workers for 37 years, 3 months, in my view, is reasonable.
Daisy Hazard, in her portfolio of communication specialists, dissecting the Prime Minister's national address, says it was surprising to witness a display of power and pomp outside of a formal state function.
There was a gathering of very senior civil servants, very senior persons attached to the administration in that trade center, and really all that address had to deal with was the pension issue. So it was a well thought out branding opportunity, but in my mind there was a bit of an overreach.
Hazard believes the setting for the national address painted a different picture.
But then how do you brand an event where the Prime Minister comes to say that this judgment is going to sink this country? That if the government goes out and pays pension of public servants, farmers, and the little girl from Grand Roy, and the fisherman from Guave, and he pointed to a farmer in Birch Grove, a number of places and people, how do you speak to the state not being able to afford that? And yet you are displaying at the trade center last night what taxpayers could now begin to say, how much did it cost for us to hold that sort of a pageant at the trade center last night to speak about the pension and gratuity issue, where you are saying it's going to cost the taxpayers too much money.
Parliamentary Representative for St. Patrick West, Anthony Boson, while admitting that government is obligated by law to accept and execute the pension ruling, reiterated what the Prime Minister said in his address on Tuesday, that such a judgment has significant social and economic impact on Grenada. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.